No, you.
No, me too. All right, guys, and welcome back to the ProGameX preliminary tournament. We just got down with our first round finally, so we will be moving on to the round two of the tournament. We just saw some really exciting games, and the last one being a team of Healing Stat, Shake Milk, and Banana Split winning against the MLS of Fake You, Fuxida, and Garnet. And that pretty much made him move to the round two, and they will be actually playing once again right now. And this time against an RMP, and I think it's going to be really exciting games. Usually GOTCOM versus RMP are very not one. They're not one-sided, but it really goes back and forth, and the games usually can just go. It could just go really fast, and at the same time, it could last a bit longer if they manage to see these in a certain way. So it's always interesting to see that. So I feel like it's either going to be either a really fast game. RP can of course win in kind of like in the first minute if they force a lot of cooldowns early on. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and again, I think I give the advantage here a little bit to the RMP just because they are fighting a Holy Paladin who's a lot more susceptible to swaps, and with that Mass Dispel available as well. And Fear also being available, just general weaknesses for Holy Paladins. But at the same time, a Deep Freeze onto Miro, there could be a lot of damage output too, but we'll be starting here. The door's opening right away. Of course, using that AoE stealth, they're going to decide to pull back in the room there. They do not want to get Pet Nova'd. I completely agree with this play. They really need to land a sap. But Shake Milk invising is going to delay that invis, so they're not going to know where Shake Milk is if they decide to push in. They're just going to bide their time, use their invises, just stay back. They really want to know the position of the shatter play before they open. But Miro pushing in here, he's aggressively going to try to get a sap on the healing stat. Really not sure who they're going to open on, though. Anyone here is an option. He's going to try to swap the sap over. He's not going to be able to. Full blind, however, on the Banana Split, opening on the healing stat. Incredible amount of damage. Shadow Blades. Everything but the kitchen sink on the healing stat. He has to trinket. The entire shatter play trinketed in that opener. That is perfect for the RMP. That's exactly what they want. Miro going for a re-stealth, going to be able to get that. Frozen Orb coming out, though, by the Shatter Play. Knees in a Deep Freeze. RNG Machine taking a lot of damage. Half HP. Knees sitting in that Deep Freeze, not able to follow it up. Full Hodge into Miro. Going to dot him up as well. The Shatter Play trying to recover here, play catch up. Just playing defensively, trying to pull back, trying to reset because they have no trinkets. But RNG Machine dipping really low. Knees coming out of a poly into an MCS by the Shadow Priest. Nice Shadow Priest silence. But Miro getting a restyle. He's going to open onto healing stat, garrote him. Possibly cheap shot out of that. Both teams just trading blows here very effectively. Deep Freeze on the Banana Split, no trinket. Like I was saying, healing stat into a smoke bomb. 150 HP, nice bop. Amazing bop by Banana Split, saving him just in the nick of time. But a gouge into Shake Milk, full poly on the Banana Split. He's not out of the woods yet. Half HP, full fear into RNG. He wills out of it. Full poly coming out here on Banana Split. It's going to be finishing, but a poly onto knees. A lot of damage being thrown out onto both sides. Healing stat definitely not comfortable right now. He's going to be really careful into a full kidney, but no CC on the Banana Split. He's going to be able to keep him up. MCS on the Shake Milk, just trying to lock that CC from him. Double Fear landed with a Deep Freeze on the Banana Split. He will not be able to dispel into a DR poly. Unfortunately, DR, he's going to be able to pick up healing stat as a result. Healing stat still, half HP. Fear onto RNG Machine. Silence on the knees. They're going to turn it around. Devouring Plague onto RNG Machine. Half HP. But he's gonna get picked up. Hodge onto Miro. Deep Freeze on the knees. RNG Machine maybe not completely safe yet. But a DR poly onto Shake Milk just trying to peel the damage. RNG Machine still not safe. But knees Spectral Geising. He's going to be coming in here for a sneaky Fear with that Siphon. Just dropping it down right in the middle. It's killed almost instantly by healing stat. RNG Machine dipping really low, though. Full poly on the knees. He has trinket. He's going to sit. This is going to be a block. This has to be a block from RNG Machine. 100k HP. He's being really gutsy with that, and he blocks at 100k. Full kidney on the healing stat. Full poly out of sap on the Banana Split. No dispersion available. 150 HP, 120 HP. Will he get topped off? He's not in any CC. Nice bop again. Full fear on the Banana Split. However, knees pushing in, doing a really good job aggressively as a priest on the RMP. Both teams taking a lot of damage. Miro deciding to trinket there. I believe actually Will the Forsaken. And they're just going to reset. This RMP is just going to pull out. Try to get a reopener here while there's no trinket available for Shake Milk or Banana Split. Half poly on Shake Milk again. The RMP just playing defensively. However, knees getting feared into a ring. Full blind onto Banana Split. I don't think the Shatter Play is going to push in with that, but they choose to. They're going to push in. Land the fear on the knees. MCS on the RNG Machine. Knees is not going to sit in that. He will Forsaken instantly into a Deep Freeze. RNG Machine in a lot of trouble. Healing stat in a lot of trouble. Deep Freeze on the Banana Split. The Shadow Priest on the Godcom in a lot of trouble. RNG on the RP in a lot of trouble. Half HP, Poly on the Shake Milk, just trying to peel as much as he can. Nero pushing in here with his feathers. He really wants to get a fear, but he's going to have to top RNG Machine off before he does this. Greater healing, get that light well down. I don't actually think the light well was down to begin with, so he's going to get that down. It's going to help him a lot, healing to the Shatter Plays damage. But he's coming in here with the feather. He's trying to get that fear. But he unfortunately gets hodged on it. Really great play by Banana Split. Unfortunately, he gets polyed. It breaks instantly. Double Fear landed on to Knees and Nero into a Ring of Frost. Lands the Ring of Frost. RNG Machine in a lot of trouble. 200 HP. Life Swap comes out. Deep Freeze out. They're going to swap to Knees. He's MCS. 90 HP. He can't Guardian. 60k. The MCS is about to end. Will he recover? 13k. Gets the shield off. Oh my god. He's going to live. 100k HP. No Trinket though. He's still not out of the woods. He's going to LOS back here. Divine him for his team. Healing in a lot of trouble. He will go down. 11k HP. That dispersion barely coming up. 70k HP. 150k HP. Will he go down? MCS. 80k HP. Full poly on Banana Split, and he does go down. But RNG, he's still in trouble. Full poly on the Knees. He does block. He's going to play completely safe. He's not going to let this God comp take the option to win here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Just getting everything in that explosive opener. I just can't believe how well played this RMP did.
And absolutely, what a crazy game, especially in the last 30 seconds of it. As you could see, I actually thought Needs was going to die. I'm not sure if Lightwell was up, but that was a really good swap. And the swapping was that deep. He just barely swapped. He's a 30% HP. He swapped with the deep into full silence and the Holy Priest. It was, Needs was not dying. And he came out of the silence, barely shielding himself and surviving. I felt like, if Shake Milk and Heelstat had a slightly more damage, they could have just finished him right there. As Guardian was actually not back up, Trinket was not up, so he could have just died in that. But what an extreme game! And then turning it off to Healing Stat, had no disperse. Banana Split into the full sheep, and that was it. But as we were saying, a really close game, and that's how it turns out when two really good teams fight off each other. And when you have such an even matchup, it just becomes really enjoyable to watch and just really intense.
Yep, I'm just getting the map choice here. And of course, it's going to be going 1-0 in favor of the RMP. I'm not sure exactly. Sorry.
You're going to say something?
No. You can continue. It's fine.
I was just going to say yes. So the RMP, that will be the team of. I'm trying to remember their team name is. It's going to be, yes, there we go, waiting for a dampening, kind of odd for an RMP's name, but they will be leading 1-2 over Healing Stat, Shake Milk, and Banana Split. Everything is possible, of course. We will still awaiting the map pick of or Shatter Play, and that's pretty much how it's going to come down to. But you saw how close the last game was, and maybe the map different will make it shows maybe a won't, but I feel like, as long as the two teams really just kind of keep on to their main gameplay, it looks like the RMP kind of wants to go on that Shadow Priest a lot. We saw Banana Split using a lot of CDs really early on, and that's kind of the only thing that kept Healing Stat alive. Eventually, when Banana Split was out of CDs, that's when the cooldown started being first. So this first being first, and of course, this person was actually about to come back out. There's like 20 seconds left on it, but the RMP was able to connect after Knees barely surviving and finishing off Healing Stat.
Yep, and the God Comp choosing to go with Tolver on Arena, definitely being successful in the past. Banana Split really abusing those large pillars to LOS and hodge people when they come in to fear him. Just really good play from him overall. Let's see if he can keep that up. I really feel like they should probably talk over that opener. All of them triggeting. It kind of feels like a mistake. At the same time, they definitely don't want to die in the opener, but I think if they talked through that opener, like use this cooldown, use this instead of kind of, that flustered panic opener that they kind of did, the RMP might not have such an advantage. But we're going to just be waiting here.
It's definitely really hard considering they're playing Horde. So, Healing Stat, he's going to have, the first Psyche, the first Fury can easily get willed, even if Needs gets CC'd. And that's so strong against Shadow Priest teams or Fear teams in general. But anyways, the game should be starting soon, so I'll just let you start.
Yep. And, of course, the RMP coming out here. Choosing to, stay back, avoiding that Pet Nova. They've really got to be careful. They want to make sure they land their CC. Invis being used now. They're going to be pushing out shortly, though, I would think. Miro needs to get that sap. So he's kind of sneaky in here onto the far right side. He's going to land that sap. I don't see anything possibly pulling him out. A cheap shot on the Healing Stat. Poly onto Shake Milk. Deep freeze onto Banana Split. Fear. Shake Milk choosing to trinket. Banana Split breaks the Poly, unfortunately. Definitely not the same explosive opener as last time. Banana Split able to heal. He's got the sack out. He's not going to be able to be CC'd. Miro in a Poly. Like I was saying, the Shatterplay doing an incredible job this time with the opener. Only Shake Milk deciding to trinket. They're going to be able to live this comfortably. But a Poly onto Banana Split. Healing stat dipping about half HP, 100k HP. Banana Split not CC'd. He's going to be able to pick him up. MCS though. Continuing that CC or a Master E's out of it. Nice choice of Avenging Wrath. Gonna be able to, RNG machine 100k 30. Oh my god, he barely gets the block off. Full blind onto Banana Split though. Healing stat choosing to trinket the full kidney. Nero taking a lot of damage as well. No CC on the knees though. He's just comfortably sitting in the back. That light will also helping him a lot. Sap out of the fear, sorry, onto Banana Split. Shake Milk in a full fear. Healing stat completely alone, but he fears him out of stealth. Miro's gonna Will of Forsaken that instantly. Deep freeze onto Banana Split into a DR Poly. Healing stat not out of the woods yet, taking a lot of damage. MCS Poly onto RNG machine, just trying to peel for his team. Shake Milk is, that is. Nero into that Ring of Frost as well. Just good job peeling by the Shatterplay. Able to hold on to Banana Split's trinket. Shake Milk though taking a lot of damage. He's pushed in quite hard. He's gonna have to pull back for a Banana Split to top him. Knees taking his knees in the silence. Miro is the target of choice here. 400 HP. He's gonna be okay. He's just gonna LOS back here. This RMP just gonna reset their position, reorganize, get ready for another reopen here. They really need to get Banana Split's trinket. But a Garrote onto Shake Milk into a cheap shot. Is he the target? He is the target. Shake Milk will take a lot of damage here. He's blinking away. Deep freeze on the knees. RNG machine taking a lot of damage as well. Pushing in incredibly hard on him. The RMP just trying to run away, trying to get that push and pull. But oh my god, healing stat in there with the double fear. He's going to be Will of the Forsaken there by Miro. He's getting a re-stealth. A full poly and a Banana Split. Cheap shot on healing stat. Shatter Dance. Smoke Bomb. Every cooldown. Healing stat really low. Banana Split choosing to sit. Is that a mistake? He's going to do, oh my god, 12k HP with a sack coming out. Full deep freeze on the Banana Split. Will he be okay? Disperse any bubbling. He's got to top him. He has to save him now or he will die. Cloak of Shadows from Miro. Nice bop. It's going to mitigate all the damage from Miro's Shadow Dance. Poly on his Shake Milk. Healing stat getting topped off. Miro realizing his kill is over. He's going for a re-stealth. He gets the re. Alter time fading from Shake Milk, so he's not going to have that damage available. Knees has no trinket though. Can they push in? Can the God Comp do anything here aggressively? The RMP just resetting, reorganizing, getting their funds together here to push forward. They're going to be really careful. Spectral Guide's coming out from Knees, just going to follow him, see what he's going to do with that. He's just going to pull back. He's not going to do anything aggressive. It'd be way too risky without his trinket. But his trinket is now available. Let's see what he decides to do. Banana Split able to sit on his trinket the entire game. Shake Milk choosing a trinket there. Full blind on Banana Split. Garrote on the healing stat. MCS on RNG. Both teams just CCing each other to death. Healing stat choosing to trinket that stun. Miro into a full fear as a result. Full poly on the Banana Split. Kidney on the healing stat. Knees can land a fear here. Frozen Orb. Sack comes out. Banana Split. Will he be able to save him? 70k HP. Deep Freeze comes out. He's not trinketing. He will go down. So just unfortunately for Banana Split, too much crowd control is available. And the God Comp here with the Holy Pound unfortunately going to be losing to the RMP. Just getting overwhelmed. Even with an amazing opener of that game, they're just not able to overcome it.
Absolutely, and what a really interesting game. A bit more one-sided than the first one, as you guys could have seen. But what a great job by both teams, and especially to Knees, Henix playing RNG Machine and Miro. Playing that RP really, really good. What we kind of see differently in this game, or saw differently, I feel like, as you were saying, Banana Split sitting on that trinket for a long time, and then there was that key moment where he had to use a lot of CD, he had to use a bubble, had to use the Guardian just to keep him alive, and maybe that was kind of the turning point. And then they were not, the Godcom was not able to turn that pressure around, and it's just something really hard to do. We were talking, of course, the RMP being Horse, of course they have that Will of Forsaken available. They have so many outs of CC. I'm not sure if they killed the live Will, but it is definitely hard for Godcom to set up, especially if you fight a really good RMP. It's just really hard. The Shadow Priest being trained all game, unable to get as much damage as he can, unable to kind of push for fears on the healer. That's also a huge part. And I felt like the RMP controlled it well and was eventually able to kill healing stat. So good job to them. They will be moving on to the semifinals, actually. And for those of you guys who don't know, this is the ProGameX preliminary tournament. So we'll be having our main tournament in exactly 2 weeks. And the top 3 teams of this tournament will be moving on to that main event. So that will be in 2 weeks. So if you guys want to check that out, and with some great PvP action, make sure you follow us. As of now, I think we're going to be moving to our second round 2 game, and that will be the team Toxic Hughes. Toxic Hughes is that the Resto Shaman Tuck Cleave. It is going to be Boitar, Swapixie, and Waffle. Yes, Waffle playing the Resto Shaman against Team Blind Us All. Blind Us All is the jungle cleave we saw earlier. For those of you that were around, they were all going to be playing that Feral, Hunter, and Holy Pally team.
I think we are, before that game, we're going to be playing a short clip, however.
Okay, sure.
If you want to go along with that.
Goes down!
I'm going to tell you right now. It is going to be... And
Okay. And I think we are actually live again. I'm just going to be plugging their names in here and queuing them up very shortly. Okay, so I have both team leaders. Are both teams ready?
I think they should be ready. I'm just gonna ask them real fast just to make sure. So coming up will be, as we were saying, the Jungle Cleave, Macrozina, Ludix, and I always forget his name. It's in Russian. And the Fritter, there you go. Fritter is the fur. And on the other side will be Swapixy playing the Hunter, Boitar, the Rogue, and of course Waffle on that Resto Shaman playing a really scary Duckly that will be coming up very shortly, guys. Just gonna make sure Swapixy is ready. He's logging back on, and then we should be good to go.
Oh, is he relogging?
Yes.
I just put us into a queue, so I don't think it'll go off if he was doing that.
He's on a different Hunter. I don't know if you can see it. Swapixy AB.
Okay, I'll correct this then. Give me one moment. Okay, I have both team leaders ready, and we'll be jumping into this game extremely shortly here. Just queuing them up, of course, for in a grand arena on the first round. Jungle Cleave versus Thug Cleave, it's going to be an interesting matchup to see who has the advantage. Neither team really having an AoE CC, so that Tremor Totem not going to be really benefiting Botar's Thug Cleave that much. Just waiting here to see if I've entered this information correctly. I don't see a game popping up. Do you?
Not yet. You want to try it again one more time? I'm just going to ask him to make sure that Swapixy has a leader.
Yep.
Yeah, and as you were saying, the Tremor Totem not really effective, so to speak, unless they, of course, play with a Vibrance thing. There will be two Hunters on each side, and it should be pretty interesting. I feel it's going to go it's gonna go really fast. I feel like the pressure is gonna come really hard. Of course, the Feral and the Hunter damage with the amount of CC they can output is just crazy. And then on the other side, you have Boitar and Swapixy, and I'm not exactly sure which target they're gonna decide to pick. Of course, the Feral can dispel the Vibrance if Swapixy decides to play with that. So I'm not sure if they'll just go for CC on the Holy Pally and go for the Hunter, or maybe just go on the Holy Pally. We saw Swapixy playing that survival spec with Boitar and just kind of going on the healers and putting the scatters and the Vibrance on the DPS. So we'll see.
Yeah,
so they're just waiting on Boitar. That's why you cannot queue right now, since Boitar has a lead.
Okay, so we're just waiting here for both teams to be ready, and we'll be jumping into this game. It's definitely going to be an interesting game. Fear not being a factor for that Paladin, so it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that. And of course, Swapsy playing that survival spec. As far as I've seen from him in past tournaments, he doesn't use the traditional Hunter trap. He'll use the slowing one and rely on his Wyvern Sting for crowd control. But with that Feral Druid, Swapsy's team can adapt to that. If they're going to still go with that slowing strategy that they always go with. Again, Feral Druid's going to have a lot of root breaks. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to overcome that uniqueness of a Feral Druid. I'm just in the middle of here, just constantly trying to queue them up. We're still waiting here. Okay, so they are ready to go.
Okay.
We will be queuing here very shortly. Right now, actually, we'll be jumping into this game. We'll be played on the Grand Arena for the first round. And of course, it's going to be the Thug Cleave Toxic Youth versus Macrosina's Jungle Cleave. It should be interesting. I want to see how the Thug Cleave is going to deal with the Feral Druid aspect. It's definitely a delicate game, I think. Both either team needing to save their trinkets for potential swaps. And what's interesting here is Swapsy is going to be running that dwarf racial for bleeds, realizing that he's most likely going to be the target for the Jungle Cleave. So it's a really interesting choice by him to take that stone form racial. But we're going to be starting the game here very shortly, just awaiting our countdown. And of course, both are.
Macrosina, that Holy Paladin, has been playing really offensive as a Hodge, and that's kind of like the thing I like about that comp. That the Holy Paladin putting in extra CC is just crazy. But anyways, I'll let you get right into it.
And again, all of these teams doing a good job just staying back, not getting pulled out. Should be able to land this sap. Unfortunately, he's in the middle of that flare. He does get the sap. Who are they going to open on? Botar just barely dodging that. They're going to open onto Swapsy here. Not unable to resap Typhoon onto Botar. He needs to dance. Trap onto Waffle Eye. Ludic's in a lot of trouble. So is Swapsy. Cloak of Shadows coming out very aggressively by Botar. He gets pounced on it. But Scatter Shot onto Fritoris. Lots of damage coming from both teams. A full blind onto Macrosina is going to trinket that. Ludic's in a lot of trouble, though. Botar connecting very well, but Swapsy at the same time taking a lot of damage. He's got to deter. Shadow Blade's coming out. Lots of damage. Full clone onto Waffle Eye. Just so much damage coming from both teams. Swapsy at about half HP. Botar able to connect basically this whole time, but this Feral Druid team is relentless with the Swapsy. Ascendance needing to be used by Waffle Eye, along with Aura Mastery. Just so much damage. Swapsy dipping incredibly low. Disorient onto Botar, Hodge onto Waffle Eye. Will he trap out of that? He does, I believe, land the trap. He lands the full trap onto Waffle Eye. He needs to trigger that instantly into a DR scatter. Swapsy incredibly low here. Waffle Eye has to link. The link is forced. Macrosina in a cheap shot. Ludic's also in a lot of danger here. Botar connecting completely. That Fairy Fire, nice use of that by Fritoris. Stormlash Totem coming down here by Waffle Eye, I believe. Shadow Dance as well. Of course, they're going to be connecting to Ludix. Half HP. Macrosina with no trinket. DR cheap shot into Ludix. Lots of damage. Unused trinket, proc trinket. We see everything. Smoke Bomb coming out as well. He's in a lot of trouble, but so is Swapsy. Wyvern Sting onto Macrosina. He can't dispel him. He's going to sit that. Ludix in a lot of trouble. Scatter onto Fritoris. Just so much damage from both teams. Half HP on Ludix. Swapsy dipping low. Both hunters incredibly low. 150k HP. He might have to bop him here. 80k HP. There's nothing available. I believe Waffle Eye got kicked. He has to deter again. Both teams able to pick their hunters up, though, after that. It's interesting to see, overlapping the Hodge and the Scatter. Will they land the trap out? They do land the full trap. Swapsy surely will go down. He has nothing left. Full name, 90k HP, triggeting desperately, trying to live 30k HP, and he goes down. So the Jungle Cleave just playing very immaculate there, landing every single trap on cooldown and pulling off the win there.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a great game by this Jungle Cleave, just playing really dominant. Really early on, we saw the Hodge by Macrosina, as we were speaking about, and we saw Blind, and that Blind would just like, I felt like create a lot of pressure. Swapsy had to use his first deter just because of that blind, and that's a little plays like that the Holy Pallies can make and just kind of change the outcome of the game. If Waffle wasn't blinded there early on, he could have saved a second deter. Maybe the game would have just been a bit differently. But it's just good to see when you see a jungle just playing so offensive, forcing so many CDs, and then you were talking about these full traps. Eventually, Boitar's stuck in these roots sometimes, not being able to eat the traps, or for the matter of fact, eventually gets stuck in CC himself, and we're able to finish swapping CC. So good job to the team of Ludix, Macrosina, and Fritters. That is the Jungle Cleave, the Russian Jungle Cleave. They will be leading 1-0 over Toxic Use.
Yeah, 1-0, of course. I'm just awaiting the map choice from Toxic Youth. I don't really think any map gives any distinct advantage to either of these cleaves. I really feel like they're going to need to change their strategy up. Toxic Youth, that is, using the Wyvern Stings instead of traps. You know, the root slow is not going to apply to the Feral Druid, and the Feral Druid can dispel the Wyvern Sting. So unless they're going to be cross CCing, at the same time, that's going to be limiting the amount of CC they have for Macrocina. So I think they're going to have to change something up, maybe go on Macrocina even. But definitely, I think something needs to change because that was very one-sided to a point. I really think as long as the Feral Druid team is able to stay safe, they should be able to recover and then pull out that situation with a full trap.
Yeah, and of course, you know, the Feral is it's just you know, has of course that bubble from Symbiosis, you know, coming from the Holy Pally, you know, has the Bar Skin, has so many little individual cooldowns. There's also, you know, the Roar Sacrifice, which is so strong against a Rogue and a Hunter, and that kind of denies a lot of the damage. We saw Macrozina doing a good job using his Guardian really early on, kind of denying that pressure from the Hunter Rogue. And so I'm interested to see if the team of Toxic Youth will be, you know, changing their strat a little bit here. You know, both teams kind of went on the Hunter, it went on the favor of the jungle, so we'll see what happens at this time.
Yep, and the map choice will be Tiger's Peak from Toxic Youth. Again, I guess they just feel comfortable on this map. Maybe they like the scenery. I don't really think it provides them any real advantage unless Swapsy is going to be running some cutesy disengage glyph and jumping up and down on the ramps. I don't really see it giving them any more advantage than the Grand. So I definitely think a strategy change is needed.
Yeah. Right before we start the game, we're actually going to restart the call real fast, guys, because there have been some problems with you guys hearing us. So we're just going to restart the real fast, and we should be back in a few seconds.
Okay.
Like full trap onto Waffle Eye. Swapsy, no bleeds on him though. He's not going to take a lot. Macrocina, full kidney, 100k HP, full blind on Fruitus. He has to trinket. They've got the trinket from the Pharaoh, but Swapsy's taking a lot of damage. Unleash NS Ascendance, everything being used by the kitchen sink. Kind of a random skull bash onto Swapsy there. Maybe a misclick. Pounce onto Waffle Eye as anyways with that Incarnation re-stealth into a full clone. Swapsy's in a lot of trouble. Waffle Eye sitting on that trinket for a full trap. Swapsy taking a lot of Macrocina, landing that blind with his bubble. Just excellent use of abilities here, but Macrocina is not going to have that bubble available for later. Full Hodge onto Waffle Eye, into scatter, into trap. If he lands it, could be over. He's not going to land it. Swapsy's going to be okay. Aura Mastery topping him off. Botar just cloaking here aggressively, trying to get something going, but he's kind of just chasing Macrocina with an endless attempt to kill him. Garrote being used here. He's trying to do his best. Full kidney. Trinket is available. He gets the wall up. Macrocina, that is. He's still dipping low through wall. 150k HP. Is it enough? He's going to sprint out of there. He needs to get out of LOS of Swapsy. 170k HP. Swapsy dipping to half HP, though, in a full stun. Macrocina, 100k HP. The Hunter, full Hodge on the Waffle Eye. Swapsy is all alone. Full trap. He will go down. Deterrence is blown. The bleeds are ticking. Full trap is going to fade on Waffle Eye, though, very soon. Can he top him off? Sorry, 100k HP. He's going to have to link. The link comes up. Full scatter onto Fritteris. No CC available for Waffle Eye. Nice Spirit Link. They're going to be able to recover. They can turn it around on Macrocina. He still has his trinket, but nothing else. No wall available for a few seconds. He needs to run. He's trying to get out of there, but Botar relentless with the chase. He's just going to pursue the hunt under Macrocina. That is the kill target for them. Half HP, no wall. He has his trinket, but he can't trinket nothing. He decides to bop the kidney at 50k HP. He will survive for now. He gets Trank shot off. 20k HP. Macrocina does go down.
And wow, what a different game! You know, we were talking about this strat that they could have done. You know, going for the healer. It looks like it actually worked. What did you say? Sorry.
Oh my god, looking away from my keyboard for 2 seconds. The Feral team does get the cross kill onto Swapsy. Botar in a full clone. It's going to go down to a 2v2 in between the Hunter Feral versus the Resto Shaman Rogue team here. Ludix has that eye debuff. I'm not sure it's going to play a factor here. Botar is definitely the kill target for the Feral and the Hunter team. Waffle Eye into a full trap. Evasion is blown. Botar at about half HP. Dipping incredibly low. He has no trinket available on Waffle Eye. Evasion is about to fade. Vanish coming up in 2 seconds into a pounce. Can he get it off? He's going to need to run for his life. Ludix, he's not running that 2v2 spec. He's not going to have the Spirit Bond available. Botar dipping about half HP here. Ludex also at half HP. They're trying to reset. They're trying to recover. I do give the advantage to the Rogue Resto Shaman, but maybe not in this situation. Ludex really unable to heal. He's not running with that Spirit Bond. Ludex is going to have to deterring very early. I agree with that decision. Fritters into a cheap shot. Shadow Blade's coming out. Shadow Dance being used. Lots of damage on Ludex. He could go down. He doesn't have his trinket available, but a Scatter Trap onto Waffle Eye. Botar unable to eat it. He does get rooted. He's just running for his life with that burst of speed, trying to chase Ludex down and not die at the same time. Full bleeds onto him. Full clone onto Waffle Eye. He was unable to kick that, gouging him too late. Half HP on Ludex, though. He's in a lot of trouble. Botar running for his life, chasing after Ludex. Maybe a mistake. He's in the open, and Botar will go down. Macrosina's team able to turn it around. Unfortunately, my mistake on missing that kill, but the cross kill as a result, and they will be moving on.
Yeah, and that was actually crazy. I actually thought, a Rogue and a Resto Shaman could beat a Hunter and a Feral, but they did such a good job. And Waffle sitting that trap at the end, thinking Boitar was fine. And of course, Boitar kind of chasing Ludix around, had his back towards Fritzerus, and Fritzerus just pounding on his face and just destroying him at the end. So a good job by Macrozina, Ludix, and Frit. But it was an interesting cross kill, but it will be in favor of that Jungle Clee. So they will be moving on to the round 2, leading 2-0 over Toxic Use.
Yep. Really well played there. I wish I didn't look away. I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah, I wish I could have seen the game, so I could have actually saw it, and then Diablo is kindly reminded of what was happening, so thank you for that. But anyways, I think at this point we are down for round 2, and I'm not sure if we're going to be doing semis right now or moving to losers. Going to have to ask our admins. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning us with us today. This is still the ProGameX preliminary tournament, which means 3 of the 8 teams that you saw today will actually move on to the main tournament. The main tournament will be taking place in about 2 weeks now. That will be on the May 31st, I think. But anyways, that will be. Yeah, I'm just waiting for. Okay, got it. Sorry. That will be in 2 weeks, as I was saying. As of for now, we're still gonna have a few more games coming up. If you want to see the replays or the rewatch, the replays of the games, you can check that in the VOD at the end of the stream. And yeah.
Yeah. So we're just waiting to decide the next series of games here. Potentially see that Destrolock MLS coming back. I'm unsure. I'm a little bit unclear as to who their opponents will be. But we're just waiting for a decision to be made as to whether or not. Okay.
Sure.
We will be taking a quick break here while our admins make that decision. So we'll be seeing you soon. Have anything up, but I don't. Okay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little clip. We're still waiting for a decision to be made, however, to continue moving forward.
So if our admin doesn't answer, I guess I'll be the one taking decisions of who plays next. So it's either going to be between or a losers round. We can actually just do the semifinals right now if the two teams are ready, and then maybe do at least the second chance, the losers round, right after that. So that will be done for today. And then we can just do the rest tomorrow. That should be a good idea. I'm just, of course, got to make sure that our admins gets a say in this. And yeah. Nope, I guess he's just AFK.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna go with that decision then.
All right. Well, I decide that we do the semifinals next up.
Okay.
Because that should be pretty interesting to watch, and then we'll do the losers round, round 1 for now. Losers round 1, I mean, and then we'll see after that. So, anyways, guys, next game coming up is gonna be the two teams that are undefeated so far in their series. They actually both won 2-0. Yes, they actually both won 2-0 in both of their games, so they're undefeated. They will be playing off against each other, of course. That is going to be the team, the RMP that you saw earlier, Nees, Hinix, and Mirux playing that Horde RMP against Blindness All, the jungle cleave that has been pretty dominating so far. And should be actually a pretty interesting game. I just know that that jungle cleave just has so much damage potential, at the same time so much CC. But on the other side, they have an RP who kind of has the same capabilities, but a bit different. They, of course, the priest has the potential of fear, and it should be pretty crazy game.
Yeah, and again, that's going to be the RMP versus jungle cleave.
Yeah. So the leaders will still be Ludix and Nees, absolutely.
Okay, and are they ready to go? Can we get
pretty sure they're ready to go. I'm just gonna make sure.
Okay.
All right, well, so waiting on these. He said just a second. All right, well, it looks like both teams are going to need another minute just to get rounded up. But for those of you joining, we just saw a few pretty crazy games. Of course, we saw another team of God, I'm losing my words. The team of Ludix, Macrozina, and Friturus winning 2-0 against Taki Q's against on a 2v2. That was a 2v2 in the last game. A pretty crazy game, and we'll see how they decide to handle this RMP pressure. I feel like Holy Pallies usually are not weak, but they get kind of easily CC. That Chastise Sphere, the Deep Poly, the Pop Poly, the Blind, so much CC, but they've been doing so good, and I feel like they're gonna have a solution for this.
Yeah, he's definitely going to, Macrozina, that is, he's definitely going to be needing to be on top of his sacrifices, preempting everything. He's going to have to be aware of the position of the mage, the priest, and the rogue simultaneously at the same time as healing whoever they decide to kill. I believe, the hunter and the feral druid, even Macrozina himself, are all viable targets for RMP. Generally, in my opinion, I think they're going to be going for the hunter, Ludix. But we're still just waiting here for them to get ready, get prepared.
You can try queuing him up now. I think Nees is ready at least. I think Ludix is also. Just gonna make sure he's on. Yeah, they're actually all on, so we should be good. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just queuing us up, and the game is active. And of course, the Grand Arena is our first arena, as it always is. I will be following the perspective of Miro from the start to see what he decides to sap, what he decides to open on. He's going to be kind of the shot caller along with Heinix style.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, guys, this is the ProGameX preliminary tournament, as we were talking about it earlier. Pretty much at this point, since we're in the semifinals, both of those two teams are actually guaranteed a spot in the main tournament that will be taking place next week with a $2,000 prize pool. And so it's pretty much going to come down to the losers bracket. So who's going to emerge out of that bracket will also have a spot, the last final spot to move on to the main tourney. But anyways, the game should be be starting shortly, so I'll let you get at it once again.
And we're still just waiting for the gates to open. 3, 2, 1. Let's see if Ludix can manage to flare this RMP out. Will completely dismantle their opener if he's able to. But no, they're playing defensively, not running into recklessly. They're able to dodge the flare, going to go in on the left side. Invis also being blown here. The sap on the Macrosina. Who will they open on? Disorienting Roar from Stealth on almost the entire team from Ludix. Excellent disorient, but Fritterus in a lot of trouble. Has to skin. Is that enough? He's going to have to bubble. Bubble already blown from Fritterus. Macrosina able to save his trinket and his bubble, but Hynix also getting swapped back to Ludix playing that survival spec instead of Marksman, locking Hynix out there. He's going to have to block. Full Hodge on knees. He's not able to follow that up with a trap. He does follow it up with a trap. Unable to heal him. He has no trinket available. It doesn't break to some random damage there. Hynix in a lot of trouble here. Smoke bomb onto Fritterus though, a lot of damage on him. He's going to trinket into a DR cheap shot. Full poly onto Macrosina, has no bubble available. He's going to Aura Mastery the MCS. Just so much damage onto Fritterus and so much damage onto Hynix style. I'm not sure who's really at an advantage here. Macrosina still has his trinket. Ludix trinketing that cheap shot immediately to kill Hynix. 200k HP. He does get Guardian. Full Hodge on the knees. Can he land the trap out? Guardian is not procced yet. It surely will. He's going to overlap it with the block, unfortunately. He's incredibly low here. He cancels the block too early, maybe. Needs comfortably able to pick him up, though. Miro going to trinket the full clone. Just a lot of damage. Fritterus into a full kidney. No CC on a Macrosina, though. Is it enough? Trap onto knees out of Wyvern Sting. He's going to have to sit that full. Hynix taking a lot of damage. Into Scatter, the CC is unrelenting. Hynix about half HP, is using that alter time defensively. Fritterus in a lot of trouble. 100k HP. No trinket for Macrosina. He could go down, and he does. So just really well played by the RMP, getting all of those cooldowns. I felt like the Jungle Cleave, they did it. That was a correct opener. Unfortunately, they had to go through too many things. Bark Skin, Bubble, everything kind of overlapping all at the same time. Maybe just save the Bark Skin, you know? Just use the Bubble if he sees a really long cooldown, something like Shadow Blades. But just really well played by the RMP. They're not going to give an inch.
Yeah, for sure. It's always really hard because, you know, a Bark Skin is a pretty decent CD. You know, it's a 1 minute CD as a Feral, but you know, against a rogue mage damage, you know, when you have orbs, you have tricks, you have dance coming up, it's just not enough, and that's pretty much what we saw happening. You know, so Fritter deciding to play safe using that bubble. So for the next swap, he just had his trinket up for that bomb, which he did trinket, and then he had a survival instinct, and that was his last CD, other than Ursak. So after that, it's all up to Macrosina, and we saw the CC chain on Macrosina just kind of a bit unending. He had no bubble, no trinket, stuck in that poly, and that was it. And you know, that's. But on the other side, you know, the jungle Cleave and putting so much damage onto Hynix, you know, forcing a second block. So pretty much the only CDs left were the trinket and swap from these at this point. It was a really close call. Was the Guardian, you know, it was like 1 second away from proccing, and his Hypothermia was 1 second away. So it was a really tricky situation. Good idea to, you know, actually use the block instead of risking the Guardian barely to proc. But anyways, I think the two teams are ready to go. So we will
right into the next game.
To our second game.
Yep, the map selection from Ludex's team is going to be Tolvaron Arena, and I'll be jumping into that right away. Again, I'm not sure if this really gives an advantage to either team. Much similarly in the last matchup, I don't think map necessarily is a big difference. I would imagine maybe more open space for Macrosina to kite the fears from knees, give him more space, but at the same time, they really need a pillar. It's going to be interesting, and again, I'm going to be following Miro just from the start, see who his sap target is. Are they going to go into Fritterus? Are they going to turn it up, change it up, go into Ludix maybe, try to put some pressure onto him, because it seemed like Fritterus was definitely working for them. I don't know if they're going to want to change that at all, but we're going to have to see how the Jungle Cleave reacts. Are they going to use all their cooldowns similarly as last time, or are they going to space them out and use bigger ones sooner? But of course, the RMP choosing to stay back, just trying to avoid that flare, because if Ludix can pull them out, it'll, again, like I said, it'll dismantle everything. But the flare is missed. The Feraldry getting really close to Nero. Might be able to pull him out, maybe land a sap on it. Fritterus, if he lands a sap or a pounce, oh my god, he fairy fires him out of stealth. Fritterus, excellent play, pulling him out there. He's going to cloak vanish immediately. Turn it around onto Fritterus, though, with a cloak vanish. He's going to skin again into Parapoison. Poly onto Macrosina. I'm having flashbacks of last game. He probably has to bubble. 200k HP into a DR Chief, 100k HP. He's going to Shadow Meld, get the Ursak. He's able to save that bubble. bubble. Hynix getting swapped back to, though. 300k HP, taking a lot of damage from this Hunter. Ludix just pounding him. Wyvern Sting onto knees. He's going to have to block. Nero just trying to get that restealth. He's going to get ferried. Nice ferry by Fridurus. Nice flare by Ludix, just preventing the rogue from restealthing. Fridurus, he still has that bubble available, still has his trinket. Macrosina without his trinket, though. It's kind of an awkward situation for both teams. The kidney bomb, he's going to trinket out of that immediately. Full fear onto Macrosina and Ludix. Nice cross CC. Ludix choosing to trinket. He needs to save his friend. He has his shield wall up. He still has that bubble available. 100k HP. Hynix also dipping incredibly low, around 300k. Hypothermia just fading. MCS onto Macrosina. Damage back and forth on both the mage and the feral druid. But Nero getting swapped to here. I see Rake going up. I'm not sure if he's going to dedicate to that. No, he won't. Defreeze into Macrosina. Nature's Vigil being used by Fridurus. There's going to be a lot of healing from his damage as a result. Nero doing a nice job eating that trap. Hynix trouble in a lot of trouble. He's going to have to block. Hodge into knees. Will he land the trap out? Fridurus into a cheap shot. Shadow Dance, I believe, being blown. Tricks coming out. They want to turn it around. Fridurus still has bubble. Frozen Orb coming out. Cheap shot. Fear into Macrosina. Will he bubble sack onto Fridurus? It's not breaking that fear, unfortunately, for Macrosina. Wyvern Sting just fading on the knees. Hynix in a lot of trouble. Miro getting a restealth there. He's going to reopen Macrosina into a full poly. Deep freeze onto Ludix. The cross CC is real. Fridurus completely alone. Half HP. He still has bubble. Will he be able to get it off? 200k HP. Hynix also with hypothermia. Both teams just going back and forth. Full kidney onto Fridurus. No trinket. No CC onto Macrosina, though. He should be able to keep him alive. Into a paralytic poison stun. Chastise zone to Macrosina into full blind. Cloaking out of the roots. Chasing after Fridurus with relentless force. Dipping into about half HP. Hynix in a lot of trouble. Also at half HP. Macrosina choosing to bubble. They feel like they've got the win. Life swap coming out. Scattered on it. Macrosina into that MCS. Fridurus dipping incredibly low. He has bubble. He does get the bubble off onto the deep freeze onto Macrosina. Hynix in a lot of trouble. He doesn't. Does he have a block available? I'm going to have to check. He does not. No, he does have a block available. He's going to have to use it. 200 HP, doesn't get it off, he goes down. No, actually, I'm mistaken there, sorry for that. He did not have a block available. Cold Snap 1 minute away from cooldown. And oh my god, a crosscode to Fierce!
Yeah.
Oh my, so we're going to go back into another 2v2 here between Ludix and Macrosina versus Miro and Knees. Double Fear and Kidney onto Ludix. I'm not sure who to give the advantage in this situation. Without dampening, I definitely think the Hunter Holy Paladin is at an advantage. But I don't think anything's really going to get accomplished here. Ludix running that survival spec. I'm not sure the damage is going to output without that support from his Feral Druid. Full Hodge on the knees. Will he decide to trap out of that is the decision. Choosing not to at this point in time, but we're going to slow down here. It's going to be an incredibly slow game as a result. Cloaking out of that root to eat the trap. Excellent play. He's not able to eat it. It's going to be a full trap with no trinket. Miro's choosing to run with that burst of speed and spamming that feint. He's just got to keep that up, reduce the damage that he's taking. But this is definitely going to be an interesting 2v2 to say the least. Full Chastise Fear into Macrosina. Rez coming out here, I believe. Rez is being casted by Knees. Is he going to get it off? No, he's going to have to stop. He's going to save Miro here. Ludix popping that rapid fire, though, landing the full scatter onto Knees. He's not able to trap off of it, interrupted by that gouge. Into a Hodge, though. Miro doing a good job positioning near his priest to eat that trap. He's just going to choose to Wyvern instead. He's going to will out of that instantaneously. He's got to pick up Miro here, but he's going to... Okay, he's going to land a trap off of his root by his snakes. Really excellent play there. But a full fear onto Ludix. Shadow Dance coming out, I believe, onto Macrosina. Garrote Kidney. A lot of damage coming out of him. Black Arrow on Miro, though. I feel like it should be dispelled by Knees instantly, and it does. Macrosina about a little bit, dipping around. Not incredibly low. Shield Wall coming out. He's not in too much trouble. Fervor being used by Ludix. He's going to be doing a lot of damage, but I don't know. He's unable to connect to that slippery target of a rogue. He's not able to really get behind him. Full Hodge into Knees. Miro again choosing to position near him, but that's Siphing on top of him, really well positioned to eat that trap. He deaths the scatter. Oh my god, he deaths the scatter. He's not going to be trapped today. He's just going to pull back and save Miro. Chastise onto Ludix into fear. Macrosina completely alone. Excellent cross CC. He's going for the res. Can Ludix stop him? He's going to disengage back. He gets gouged. He gets put into a DR blind. Will he get the res off? He's not able to. He gets silenced on it. So close that that blind unfortunately wasn't DR'd as much as it was. He would have got that res off. Oh my god, full Hodge on the Knees. He's actually going to swap it up. He's going to go on the Knees a little bit here. That Ludix, that is. He picks up the Shadow Sight. He's going to be able to pull Miro out of stealth. Nice snake roots onto Miro there. But Knees definitely the choice. The Denounce coming out. He's unable to crit with those heals. He's just going to pillar, though. Pull himself back here. But he's starting to Macrosina completely full on mana. But Knees, he's dipping at about half HP. Shadow Dance, though, coming out from Miro. Macrosina in trouble. He walls it. He gets the wallet before it. He shouldn't need to trinket. Ludix in the fear, though. He's incredibly low. He triggers at 9 HP and he dies through Bop to the Shadow Blade's damage. Oh, my God. So that just excellently turned around there for the Rogue Priest. I didn't expect that to happen.
And once again, what a game. Nothing else to really say. Coming down to a 2v2, just extremely, extremely close. And that res, I just thought it was gonna come up. It was actually so close. Miro just blinding instantly after Ludix was training that gouge. Unfortunately, as you said, it was a 2-second blind, so barely able to silent shot that cast. But what a great game and a great try nonetheless. It will be tied 1-1 here at the Pro GameX semifinals in the preliminary tournament, and whoever wins this will be moving on to the grand finals.
Yep. And again, of course, both of these teams are qualifying for the real tournament 2 weeks from today. Either way, you will see these teams again, regardless of who wins. But, it's kind of an ego thing, I think, here. There's no money on the line. No, there is $100 on the line, I believe. 100 euros, I believe.
For the winning team, correct, yes.
Yeah. So there is a little bit of an incentive to win this game, to push through to those grand finals. But you will see both of these teams again 2 weeks from today. I'm just plugging their names in once again. And I'm going to be getting a map choice from the RMP very shortly.
Yep. So as you said, a really close game. Of course, those two teams are in the main event, the main tournament, but we're still waiting for a third team to come out of that losers round of that second chance bracket. That will be, you'll probably see. We might do actually one round today, and then we'll have the rest tomorrow, right after this series. For now, we are in the semi-final, guys.
No. We're making a stupid mistake here. I'm getting too excited in the game. That game was actually 2-0. 2-0 for the RMP. We're getting too ahead of ourselves, I think. Here.
Yes,
it was 2-0 for the RMP.
It is late. Okay, that was a good excuse. And it is 2-0 for the RMP. Yep, you're absolutely right. So that will be it. It is still the best out of 3, even though we're in the semifinals. So we have a first team making it through the grand finals.
Yep. Okay, so are we going to be progressing to the lower bracket, or are we going to be...
I would like us to do... I would like us to do the losers round, I guess. What time is it? Not 10. I'm not sure, because I guess I'm the one deciding now. So actually, if you think about it, the Team Hingo Headmaster is the one that was disqualified, so we don't have to do that one. Why don't we just do the other one, the RMP against RSD, which would be Fresh Tomatoes against Blue Lightning. So if we just do that, then we'll be done with the losers round 1, and then we just do the rest, the round 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, that sounds good. So we're gonna have Fresh Tomatoes, another RMP, Absolutely. Going against who did you say? Blue Lightning, the yes. Elemental Shaman Rogue Rescue Druid. Okay. So if you want to just check with them, make sure they're prepared to go. And again, for the stream, I'll say it slower. We're going to be having Blue Lightning, Hartley on that Rogue, Shamanation on that Elemental Shaman, Druid Felix playing Resto Druid, going up against the team of Fresh Tomatoes, SQT playing that Frost Mage, Mulberry X playing that Subtlety Rogue, and Zenk Haramel playing that Holy Priest. So we're going to have an interesting matchup. It's definitely going to be... I think a little bit challenging for the Elemental Shaman team, but I feel if the Elemental Shaman can get a footing and just get those flame shocks up and just shoot some procs out, they could definitely turn it around. It's going to be pretty explosive, but I feel like the advantage is definitely going to be for the RMP, just with the amount of defensive cooldowns that are available to a Frost Mage as opposed to an Ele Shaman, and with the fact that there's going to be a Rogue riding him, basically I would expect for the whole game, just preventing him from doing a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Should be pretty interesting to see how this team definitely decide to strategize around killing which target and killing which target against that specific comp. But actually, I think both teams are ready, so we'll just get straight into it. The team leader will be Hartley against SQT. So Hartley running that LE Rogue Rescue Druid, and SQT running that RMP along with Zanka and Mulberry.
Yep.
So most of the teams are in the second chance bracket, guys, which means if they lose one more series, they will be out of the tournament, of course, and not have a chance to qualify for the main event in 2 weeks. The main event, the main tournament of Pro GameX. And yep, looks like they're ready.
We'll be jumping right into the Grand Arena, of course. Once again. Definitely, like I was saying, I feel like the advantage is towards the RMP. They're going to be running Alliance, so they're going to be running for a lot of damage. There's no fear to worry about with that Will of Forsaken, so it's also going to allow Zanka to run with that Shadow Meld to avoid crowd control. So let's see if he can run some, some nice... there's nothing really to death, unless he deaths blind, obviously, but usually not guaranteed. But I'm going to be following the RMP. I feel like they will be the ones in stealth for a longer period of time, giving them the advantage, but... either way, both teams need to get control of the opener very quickly, or it could go downhill for either side. But the game will be starting here very shortly. We're just waiting for the countdown for the doors to open. 3, 2, 1. Both teams using their stealth very early, but the Ellie Shaman being very aggressive, running into the middle of the map, trying to Earthquake, almost Earthquaking out the entire RMP, but unfortunately now getting sapped. He has the Fire Elemental out, trying to buffer some damage. I believe it pulled someone out. It pulled the Zanka out of stealth. They're going to open onto the Elemental Shaman, of course. Lots of damage on him. Ironbark Snaring Ward blown instantly. Will it be enough? Blind onto Strawberry, just as a peel here. They, kind of an interesting choice to blind. They probably want to swap to him later, but he's just going to sit all that. He knows that he's a possible swap target, but a lot of trouble the Elemental Shaman is in, but they're going to swap it up into Strawberry anyway. They didn't get his trinket. They're going to bomb on him. He's going to have to trinket Cloak. He's going to get out of there. He's going to recover just fine. The Elemental Shaman just gained poly spam, just trying to lock him down. Zanka trying to come in here for a fear. He's going to run in, land a triple fear. Gets tremored instantly. Shamrage. Shamrage is not enough. 60 HP. Full fear onto the druid. Will he go down? Somehow he picks himself up. I think the mushroom exploded there, pulling it up to half HP. But it's turning around to Strawberry. A full clone onto SQT. They're going to be able to survive here. I have no idea how. Pulling that survival out there is just a really amazing play. The RMP just going to be pulling back, trying to get that reset. Going back full poly onto Hartley. Just trying to peel, just trying to reset. I'm not sure. I feel like the RMP is kind of at an advantage. Zanka still has his trinket available for any sort of random NS clone or potential crowd control for him. But Strawberry is just going to be riding the Elemental Shaman. He has no Shamrage. Deep Freeze onto Druid. Will he get the poly? Nice grounding totem to prevent the poly. Half HP Ironbark comes out. Is it going to be enough? Cheap shot onto Hartley. I feel like it's not enough, but a full clone onto Zanka and SQT throwing that orb out. It's not enough. He will go down, and he does. No exciting cross kills. I don't expect from this rogue Resurgent. Yep, they're going to choose to leave the game.
Let's make sure that. Alright, I just saw. Alright, well, it looks like Jonas Shaman is going to come down, but what a close kill they got there at the very start. You were saying it, Druid Felix barely keeping up with a hardened nest when he was out of Sham Rage, using that Trinket Tremor to get a Druid Felix out of the fear, but it was almost not enough. Then he used a hardened nest. I'm pretty sure he crit, so he's able to pick him up. And on the other side, kind of as we were expecting, it's really hard for that Rogue and Ellie to get that much form of pressure, because what kind of CC do you have? I mean, you have blinds and you have clones, and then the hexes can be dispelled by the mage, so you don't have that much CC on the actual healer, which is the Holy Priest, Zanka of that RMP. And that's the reason they're a bit struggling to get the pressure. Of course, they blinded the Rogue really early and then decided to swap on him. Even though he still had his shield wall up, the Rogue of the RMP still wanted to trinket it and cloak to be safe. He wasn't that bomb. It was a good choice by him, and then they were able to turn the pressure around on the Ellie Shaman pretty fast.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting for the Rogue Shaman Druid team to decide a map. I feel like they should go for an open space map. I feel like they really need to just drag it to the open and risk it, because they're not able to get anything off with those with the RMP kind of hugging a pillar whenever they're playing defensively. There's not an opportunity for them to really do anything, and that's mostly due to the fact that they have no long, low cooldown crowd control. Cyclone obviously is the only spammable one, like you were saying. But they are going to choose Dalaran Arena, so we'll be jumping into that right away, queuing them up, getting them ready to go. It's going to be interesting, though. Dalaran, closed-in map.
Dalaran it is.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, they have the Cyclone, but it's not that easy to place a Cyclone when you're fighting a Rogue Mage, because of course, and a Priest, you have to kind of get in 30-yard range, then you have to actually cast the clone if you don't want to miss it. You have the Mage that can deep, that can silence you, so it's not that easy. And, then the other CC they had is, of course, the blind, but the blind was put on the Rogue, so, the Zanka is pretty much like free healing, just displaying those flame shocks and able to keep his team alive.
Yeah, it's definitely a delicate operation for the Elemental Shaman team. They're going to have to find some way to get an opening. They did a good job blinding Strawberry and sapping him in the opener, just preventing his damage, but they weren't able to force his trinket. So maybe they're just going to open on Strawberry instead and blind his trinket and go on to SQT, but they're going to have to go through 2 blocks, Life Swap and Guardian. I just feel like the durability is too high. Their really only shot is, like a random global or a swap to Strawberry with no trinket. But the game is going to be starting here. Both teams, of course, starting with their AoE Shrouds. Let's see if anyone can get pulled out. He was really close to earthquaking someone out last game. Fire Ellie coming out, though. He's going to make sure. Double sap on both rogues. Disorient. They both sap each other. This is going to be a very awkward opener for both. Solar Beam coming out from Jonas Shaman. Ironbark Cenarian Ward while he's just before the deep freeze. Is it enough though? Shamrage as well. Smoke Bomb being coming out here. MCS. Stoneform being used about 200 HP. He's in a lot of trouble. He used every defensive cooldown. Every single trinket is gone now except for Hartley's. All this RMP needs to really do is live. But they're going to swap on a Strawberry. Shadow Dance, no trinket. Full Hex on his Zonka. It's not getting decursed. He's going to sit in that full. Disorient onto SQT. It does break into a DR clone. But like I was saying, this RMP is just going to pull back. Just try to reset a little bit. And as I say, they're jumping right back in. Full cheap shot. Ascendance coming out.
And I think Super T's got these seeds, so let me just try and get straight into the game real fast here and try and commentate this again. And I hope you guys can still...
Oh, sorry. Full Hex.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Strawberry in a lot of trouble here. Zonka, though, not in any crowd control. No Shamrage available just yet. 10 seconds on that. Ironbark Cenarian Ward coming out. Going to bide the time until that comes out. This is going to be an interesting amount of pressure coming from both sides. The Ellie Shaman finally able to free cast. He's going to be dropping that Earthquake behind the pillar, preventing the re-stealth as best he can. But Strawberry, he's got Fairy Fire on him. He shouldn't be able to get that re. Felix into a gouge. Just going to DR that Poly for later. But a cheap shot into Strawberry. Is he going to be able to get anything done with it? 300 HP into a kidney. He has no trinket. Guardian used defensively there by Zonka. He does not want to risk anything. He wants to make sure that his rogue is going to be okay, but he gets cloned on it. Really aggressive clone here. But Jonas Shaman is in a lot of trouble. 200 HP. He has Shamrage available. He's going to sit on it. He's okay with full hots. Druid Felix not in any crowd control. Strawberry into a half clone. SQT into a cheap shot. They're swapping it up though. They're trying to make it random. Full kidney into Jonas. He's not gonna have to not gonna have to Shamrage here. The mushroom down below him is fully stacked. But he's just going to kite Strawberry back, trying to pull him away from his healer, try to reposition. He's got triple flame shocks that the lava burst should be coming out here shortly. Full blind into Zonka. He's going to trinket that. He's just playing completely defensive. Hartley getting a re-stealth. He's going to find a new target here. Strawberry is definitely the target of choice. Shamrage not coming out. I really think he needs to. Full fear onto him. He's going to have to sit that Ironbark and Cenarian Ward. They feel is enough. It's going to be. Druid Felix into a deep freeze. Strawberry also at full HP. A lot of damage from both teams here. SQT kind of dipping low, but the RMP playing very defensively behind this pillar. Hartley in a cheap shot. I don't feel like they're going to commit to him. No, they aren't. Garrote onto Jonas. A lot of damage coming onto him. Cap Totem was land onto Strawberry there. Unfortunately, it's going to be DRing the stun of Hartley. Full clone onto SQT. They should be okay. The Elemental Shaman should recover here with his Mushroom, with the hots that he has available to him. But a redirect kidney onto Druid Felix there. He's going to take a lot of damage. He still has Shamrage. Nice Thunderstorm, knocking the Rogue and Priest away from his Druid. But SQT landing that full poly either way. Again, both teams kind of, they've got to be careful here. Blade's coming out, though, from Strawberry, although he's put into a cheap shot himself. Solar Beam into Zonka. DR Kidney onto Strawberry. 100k HP. Fairy Fire. He cannot vanish out. He's going to cloak that. He's going to reverse the Shadow Dance onto Jonas. Ironbark and Cenarian Ward. Is it enough? 200k HP. Full Fear. Kenny Tremor. He gets the Tremor off. 100k HP. Cheap shot. Can he pick himself up? Healing Tide Totem, Shamrage, 80k HP. Will he just die through it all? Or a Mastery, Hex into a Kidney, 30k HP. How is he alive, MCS, and he will go down? So we're going to be taking the win here. Sorry, the RMP is going to be taking the win here. 2-0 against this Elemental Shaman Rogue Resto Druid. Just really well played to be able to last that long, I feel. Definitely at a disadvantage against that RMP with no real spammable crowd control aside from Cyclone. But they will be moving on, the RMP, that is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw Zonka just the only CD he had to use was his Guardian on Strawberry at some point. But the RP is just doing a pretty good job, getting the spheres and then either garroting or silencing the Ellie Shaman, Jonas Shaman that is, and forcing that extra bit of CC and that extra bit of pressure at the end. We saw every CD pop. We saw the Armbark, the Shaman Rage, and pretty much Drillfix was kind of free casting. It was still not enough. That pressure is just insane, and that will mean that the RMP will still move on. Unfortunately, Hartley, Druid Felix, and Jonas Shaman will be will be kicked out of the tournament without a chance to move on.
Yep. And as far as decisions for the next game,
yeah. So I think it has been a pretty long stream. We started a bit late, unfortunately, due to some issues. We managed to fix that, so I'm glad that we were able to keep on going at least for a few games. But I think we're pretty much going to be done for today at least, guys. This has been the ProGameX preliminary tournament. We already have our 2 teams qualified for the main event that is going to be in 2 weeks. If you want to look at any infos, you can check the tab or right below. And we'll still, of course, have the last 5 series tomorrow and our grand final. That will be tomorrow at the exact same time. That will be 6 p.m. Pacific Standard. No. Central European time zone. And let me see if I'm missing something. So yeah, we'll still have 3 more rounds in the losers bracket tomorrow, and of course then or grand finals. Yep, that's correct.
That's correct.
Goes down!
Hey guys, we're back. We will not be continuing on today with any more games. However, tomorrow at 1900 CET, I believe, 1800 CET, we will be starting tomorrow. A little bit of a shaky start, but we did manage to get things rolling. And I thank you guys so much for supporting the esports community. You guys sticking around, even through some of the technical difficulties, is just really excellent support. I really hope we can get an account here for Zuniaki tomorrow so you can join me in commentating. But again, thank you, everyone. Thank you to Bleached Bones, of course, the sponsor for this tournament this weekend. I really hope you enjoyed these games. Just a lot of cross-killing, a lot of excellent play from everyone. I wish them the best of luck in the future, and I really hope to see you guys tomorrow morning. And yeah, have a good night. Shout out to Zuni doing a good job. Shout out to everyone behind the scenes to make this work. Do you have anything to add, Zuni?
Yeah, well, thank you. You've done a great job, guys. He has been solo commentating for the last 3 hours. That is a big achievement. It's not easy at all. So, of course, a shout out to Subatiz, who's been doing amazing as always. And, of course, we'll be hopefully seeing you guys tomorrow at the exact same time for some more PvP action. That is it for today. I'm pretty sure you summed up everything. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us, and I hope that you can meet us tomorrow for some more action. Peace.
Have a good day, guys.